遠く離れたって決して夢は終わらない
What's up, guys? This is xLust's back again with another top deck profile. Today, we're going to be doing our first Shadowverse deck profile video. That and another deck profile video is going to be coming soon, but the first one today is our boy xLust's today. How you doing today?
Hey guys, I'm Anthony Chu, also known as xLust's, or you might know me as Bloody Lust. And I topped the locals here today with Earth Rite Runecraft.
Yes, today you did top here with Earth Rite Runecraft. Now this deck is not seen very often. A lot of people opt to choose to play Rune Control and D-Shift. But tell us, why'd you go with Earth Rite? What makes Earth Rite a little different for you?
I chose to play Earth Rite because currently in the format for Shadowverse for the states and whatnot, Swordcraft and Dragoncraft are seen as the best decks and the most common decks, and this deck has a matchup that is decent against both decks, which means that it is a really good contender against the current metagame and a dark horse in the current format. That's why I chose to play this deck.
So you did very much, you want to make sure you're playing a deck that you feel like has a really good strong matchup against all of the best decks, the most played decks currently in competitive Shadowverse. Now we do have a Shop Qualifier this Saturday, so hope we get to see you there, but let's go through your deck profile and see what makes this deck so strong. Okay, so Anthony, go through the entire deck for us, starting off with your lowest casting spells.
Sure. So at the start we have 3 of the Amulet Teachings of Creation. This card is very simple. It gives you a stack on the board and it draws you a card. It's a really good card to keep in the early game because it lets you Earthright early without your opponent like having to interact with the cards you play. So, and it gives you consistency. Bellringer Angel, this card is not only really good against aggro for Abyss and Sword, it blocks dragons, storms late game, and it also gives us the consistency we need because this card's also a cantrip. We have Crafty Warlock. This is the card that you want to mulligan for every game, and this is the card that is your prime Evo target going second, as you can play it on turn 2 and then evolve it for free with your Evo point, and it's a 3/3 that can trade into a lot of things on the board. This card, when it leaves the field, gives you a magic sediment. It's one of the better cards in your deck, and it's the card you want to see every game. With our other 2 is Alchemist's Workshop. This card is similar to Teachings of Creation in that it's also an Earth Sigil, so it gives us a stack without our opponent having to interact with us. Sometimes if we play Crafty Warlock on 2, they might not kill it, so we might not have an Earth Sigil going into our turn 3, which is not that great, but Alchemist's Workshop gives us a 3/2 rush when we play it, and it always is a Earth Sigil, so we will always have an Earth Sigil going into 3. We have 2 copies of Demon Flame Mage. For the people who are familiar with the D-Shift rune or the Control rune, you'll be very familiar with this card because as this card, you can pay 1 to evolve it to deal 2 to the board. This is what makes our Swordcraft matchup so good because turn 4 is when Swordcraft gets their banner up, but if you play going first, you can evolve this turn 4 going first or turn 3 going second right before they get banner up, and you can clear their entire board basically for free. So this card gives us a really good matchup against Swordcraft, but at the same time, I don't play 3 because this card doesn't advance our own game plan, so it's kind of cloggy, and you don't want to see it against Dragoncraft. 3 copies of Runic Guardian. This card is the card you really want to see on turn 3 because this card has the effect where it can Earthright to give itself +1 attack, +2 health, and it already is a ward. So let's say you played either Teachings of Creation or Alchemist's Workshop on 1 or 2. On turn 3, you just play this, you use the Earthright effect, it's a 4/6 already for your opponent to answer, and a lot of times, even going second, you cannot evolve something that clears a 4/6. So you're almost guaranteed to get the 4 damage in face. And even if you don't have a good curve, let's say you don't have an amulet, this card can make its own magic sediments to set up your future turn. So this card is definitely a really good card to run at 3. Ancient Alchemist, this card on turn 3, you can play it going first if you have an Earth Sigil on field already, because you can Earthright to create 2 Guardform Golems in your X area. These are for the evolve effects where you can evolve 3, and after you evolve it for 3, it becomes your win condition. We'll get into that later, but it being a 2/5 makes it very hard to clear by your opponent if you play it on 3, and it can trade very favorably with your opponent's followers. Merlin. Merlin is a card that is played in D-Shift, but it's also played in Dirt Rune because we can also have like a plethora of spells to help us close out the game, and Merlin being able to search Demonic Strike and then evolving into recast Demonic Strike means that we can ping 6 face on turn 8, which is one of our biggest ways to close out the game when our opponent is struggling at single-digit life totals, and we need to burn them. So it makes Merlin a very good card. Merlin also allows us to play Fire Chain to deal with aggro very well. So this card is both good against aggro and control, and is one of the best cards in the deck in general. 2 copies of Erd. Erd and Execute are some of the best cards in the game right now, but for Earth Rite specifically, Erd is better because Erd gives you a body. This deck is aggressive and looks to play to the board. Execute is 4 play points, but you can't, it doesn't 1 for 2, you just kill one thing. But Erd, when you play it going second, it puts something to the back row, you evolve it, you get rid of it, and now Erd can swing into something. So Erd can get rid of 2 things, and going first, on 4, if your opponent plays a ward on 4, you can just Erd it back and attack with face, and now they have to replay the ward. For example, if I'm going first against Dragoncraft, I play something on 1, they pass turn 1, I play something on 2, they Oracle on 2, so they have 4 play points on 3, right? I play something on 3, they play Dragon Guard on 3. It's a 4-5. Now on turn 4, I just Erd the Dragon Guard back into their X zone, they have to play it again, I still swing face with my 2-drop and my 3-drop, I develop a 2-2, and now they're in a really awkward position. So this card is really good. And the single best card in the entire deck, I have the 3rd U rarity of it coming into the mail, so I only have 2. The Judo Secret Laboratory. This card, on play, gives you one of the following golems, and then every single turn, it allows you to tap it to Earth Rite 1 to make one of the golems. So it gives you, it basically lets you play for free. This is one of the reasons why this deck can outvalue a lot of control decks, because I just get free cards every single turn. And if I don't have an Earth Rite stack, I can tap it to make a stack. So this card is everything that this deck wants to do, and you need to see it every single game. Some people play 2, but I heavily advocate playing 3, because this is not a card you mulligan for, as this card's cost is too high. So if you see one in your opening hand, but you don't have a 2-drop, you're more likely to put it to the bottom of your deck, so you see 1 less this game. So I strongly urge everyone to play 3 copies of Judos. The card I alluded to earlier when I said 2 copies of Demon Flame Mage, I also play 2 copies of Mithril Golem. This card, unlike Demon Flame Mage, swipes the board for 3, but it's 3 play points more expensive. Some people might wonder why I say these do the same thing, as Demon Flame Mage comes out way earlier, but if you pay attention to this deck, we have a lot of cards that generate taunt followers, so our opponents still have to trade into our cards, and most opponents will value trade, leaving their followers at low HP points, where the Mithril Golem on 6 will clear everything. So this is just a very convenient follower that can clear everything and develop us a really big body. Also, this is a golem. It has synergy because our Ancient Alchemist Evolve reduces the cost of golems by 1. And this will reduce this to a 5 cost. So if your opponent doesn't remove the Ancient Alchemist in time, you can surprise them with a 5 cost golem. Obviously, the boss monster of the deck.
Yes.
3 copies of Arc Summoner Erasmus. This card is what makes your dragon matchup so good, because this card can remove their big bodies for free. Because once you have Junos, you don't have to worry about your magic sediments. This card on play deals something 6, deals them 2, and then if they are still alive or they have something else, you tap it, deal something 6, deal something 2. So you deal 12 damage and 4 to their face, and now it's an 8 health card, which dodges all of Dragon's big removals, and now they have to run something into it, giving you a free turn. 1 copy of Lucifer. I saw that this deck lacked some healing, but at the same time we can't really play like very good healing, so this card not only doubles as a healing, but the evolved version of this card actually deals damage, and the more important part of our deck is that we burn. So this card is also a burn card when played for 7. It does 4 damage to the face, and it can trade something and help us close out games, or if we're against a more aggressive deck, this card can ward for us and help us heal. So it's a very good card. I don't want to play multiples because I'm already playing 3 copies of Erasmus, so it's already really high on the curve. That's why we only play 1 copy of Lucifer. Now up to the spells. These are the spells that Merlin can search. So this is what gives you the most flexibility in your engine. 2 copies of Fire Chain.
Yep.
This card is very good because it allows you to beat the card decks that play to the board. Fairy tokens from Forest, Ghost from Bats, Ghost and Bats from Abyss, and Soldier tokens from Sword. This card can clear multiple for just 2, and Merlin can recast it. So this card is very good against those decks. Demonic Strike. This is the card you search off Merlin against the control matchups, as it allows you to deal 6 damage to face by recasting in their face. It is very important and helps you. Is an important part of you closing out the game. Golem Protection.
Golem Protection.
This card is a engine piece that your deck can search off Merlin, as this card has the Earth Rite tag on it and it has the spell tag on it. So it's very good. And a lot of the times I can cast this card on turn 4 and I wouldn't ward with the golems, and then on turn 5 I'll play something else and then ward with the golems. It's like I saved two turns of play for 1 turn. It's a very good card. And then finally, 1 copy of Execute.
Yes, sir.
This is a card, amulet removal, or it's basically an Erd that Merlin can search. So against Dragon in the late game, if they played a Fafnir, you can play Merlin, search and execute the Fafnir, evolve the Merlin, and then points Demonic Strike at their face or something, and that's a lot of tempo. So you play the 1 execute just to search it. Let's start with the evolutions with the lowest one. We play 1 copy of Bellringer Angel.
Yep.
Because we want the option to be able to evolve our Bellringer to deal 2 damage to the aggressive matchups. It's very helpful to ping 2 damage to their early followers that might give you a lot of trouble. 1 copy of Crafty Warlock. Crafty Warlock is very good evolved because instead of giving 1 stack, he gives us 2 stacks. So it changes the game when he evolves because it gives us more resources for our following turns. I cut this down from 2 to 1 because I never found myself going into 2 copies of the evolved version, as this card is really cheap. We play 2 copies of Demon Flame Mage because we play 2 of the unevolved version, and every single time we're playing Demon Flame Mage, we want to evolve her. There's not a single time I would play Demon Flame Mage and I would say I don't want to evolve her. So we play 2 copies of it. This card's very good against Sword, very good against Forest, very good against Abyss. So we want to be using this card every game against those decks. 2 copies of Merlin. Merlin allows us to recast the spell in our graveyard that's 3 or less. That's every single spell in our deck that's not these 3. So it's basically these 2. So these 2 are very good, and this clears the board and this burns for face. So this gives us our Merlin extra value. 1 copy of Erd, it allows our Erd to perform the Vanishing effect, which can which can bypass last word effects, and is very good against big wards and very good against big threats. 2 copies of Ancient Alchemist. This card has 2 effects. 1 is your golems cost 1 less. It makes your Mythical Golem 5, your Guardian Golems 1. And then whenever golem comes into play, you target their leader or one of their followers and you burn for 3. So in the late game, when they have like less than 10 health left, you can play it, evolve, and then play 4 golems and burn them for 12. And that's like, you took them from half to 0. So this is like your most like aggressive win condition. It's 6 health, it comes out early, your opponent has a really hard time removing it. And if it lives, your opponent's not in it for a good time. And then finally, because we play the Lucifer, we're playing 1 copy of the Evolved Lucifer. Yep. So they can act as burn.
Yep. And then your tokens all have ward.
Yep. We play 5 copies of the Guardform Golem token because this is the one we go into more often. More cards make this card, and it's a ward. And we more often than not have like so many copies of it on the field. So it's really hard for aggressive decks to get to us, and that's exactly why it has such a good matchup against Swordcraft. Because Swordcraft has a really hard time getting past wards. The other tokens are the Strikeform Golems. This card has Rush. It allows us to attack into stuff that might threaten us early. And then, last but not least, is the Magic Sediment token. It's the thing that this deck is based around. Magic Sediment is a stack that it's made, and then every single stack, if there's 2 on the field, you can tap 1 to combine them. And if a stack gets destroyed, instead of being destroyed, it goes down by 1. So your opponent can't just execute a stack and take away the entire thing. It only goes down by 1.
Yep. All right, and that's about it. All right. Anthony, you did so well today. You showed us that not every person just needs to play one of the single archetypes for a craft. You can just choose your own craft and win with it. What's up, guys? We're back again real quick to do a quick update to this deck profile. We're back again with xLust's, and he just did what we said earlier we'd hope we see him do. He just went completely undefeated in our Shop Qualifier here at Next Level. Completely undefeated 8 rounds. Earth Rite.
Yep.
Earth Rite. So you said you made 1 change. What was the 1 change?
The 1 change I made was I took the extra Lucifer out of my deck. I had played a clean 40, and that was what I wanted, a little bit more consistency to see the other cards in my deck, and that's about it.
How do you feel? How do you feel about your matchups today?
Yeah, because I went ahead and I scouted. Not really scouted. I've played a lot of people in the scene already, and most of them play like aggressive decks. And like I wanted to see like my lower drops more, so I figured I might as well play an even 40 to see like have more chances to see all my other cards. And I was glad because the card would not have came out today. I wasn't even close to like being like in range for burn. So I'm glad I made that change, and that's about it.
All right, xLust's, thanks again for your deck profile. Hopefully we can see more of you in our tournaments. We're gonna see another match again following the same deck profile that we were about to upload. So the same day we're about to upload your deck profile is the same day we're gonna upload the Shop Qualifier final match. So we're gonna see you play the deck again. And again, plug where you gonna plug.
Please check out my YouTube channel. It's called Bloody Lust. I will they'll probably have the link in the description below by the time the video is out. And then check out Dank Ritual, D-A-N-K, and then Ritual. They have previously sponsored me with playmats, deck boxes. Their deck boxes are pretty good. Their playmats are pretty good as well. And hope you check them out.
Thank you so much. And xLust's, what channel are you on?
What channel? The channel is Heal on 6.
Yes, sir.